So that cliffhanger that we were left off on this week, with Jinguchi, is he going to summon the door again? Can he summon the door again, or is he going to get bopped? Or is Tachibana, which is this is actually I think what's going to happen, is Tachibana going to stop right before she hits Jinguchi because he's going to yell out something that is from the heart that he does appreciate about her. Now, obviously, the whole entire conspiring to get Tachibana to turn on Jinguchi obviously has been working, and obviously was manipulated by the maid lady. Obviously they're trying to do it for evil. They're the sect or the people against the goddess, etc., etc. But although she was manipulated a little bit into that, and when she's having like certain thoughts and stuff, her tattoo does kind of glow up. And those thoughts, generally do come spewing out. But I think it's actually a pretty positive thing, outside of her being in a mechanized, Gundam-like weapon. I think it is pretty cool that she's finally going to be able to get all of this off her chest and actually tell Jinguchi, some of the real ways, some of the real ways and how she actually feels. Which I think is going to be really, really, really good for both of them, because a lot of times Jinguchi seems to be operating in darkness, and Tachibana right behind in his shadow, and that can do a lot to a person, especially after a 20-30 year relationship that they've had, or friendship that they've had for so long. There's certain feelings that Tachibana has kind of like shoved way down because she prioritizes her relationship with Jinguchi over the the dumb feelings that she might have. And the fact is, like, she's never been really hurting for anything. But the flip side of that is all those feelings that she did push down for so long, they with this manipulation with the dark lady, they basically have taken the can off the Pringles thing, and the chips are flowing out now. And I think it's going to be good to kind of air grievances, air everything between them. That way they can, kind of like move forward, together, and, take that next step in their friendship, relationship, whatever ends up happening, after everything's kind of like, all said and done. The thing that they're going to need to do is, move forward in that. And I love how this episode is really focused on that. And, I really just think it's really important for both of them to kind of go through this exercise, essentially, especially if they're going to have some type of like intimate, romantic relationship later on, because like I've said earlier in the anime, earlier in a lot of episodes, is we don't know the goddess's intentions, and we don't know that even after they defeat the demon lord, we don't know if they'll actually defeat the demon lord or befriend the demon lord or see both sides of the coin kind of thing. We also don't know if, let's say they do it, we don't know, the goddess is kind of twisted and she has her own reasons to do her things. We don't know if they're going to get returned to their world. We don't know if the goddess will give them the option to stay in this world, which, then in turns means that Tachibana can remain in this form. We don't know if they'll be allowed to return, to Japan, but Tachibana can stay in this form if she'll be given the option to go back to who she was before, or if she wants to stay as she is now. We don't know none of that, you know what I mean? So these are going to be definitely good building blocks for if that future comes to fruition and Tachibana is able to stay, in this form, stay as this cute girl, and potentially have a life with Jinguchi, what this might mean. Conversely, let's say she doesn't stay in this form and she does revert to who she was prior. As we know in prior episodes, Jinguchi was definitely, he was catering to that idea of that being an option for his forever. Although you might remove the traditional sense out of it, that could still be a partnership. They could still be partners. They could still have kids. They could still grow old together, in that way. If that's something that, Tachibana wants. I think really Tachibana is the decision maker and the deciding factor there on what they view as what they want. I think Jinguchi's definitely the more open one between them, because he's more looking for something that he can feel on the inside, you know what I mean? Feel that connection with, and he already has that with Tachibana. But this exercise that they're going through right now, this flowing of emotions is definitely needed, because they're not going to be able to move forward if Tachibana always feels inadequate to Jinguchi, and Jinguchi can't move forward unless he's able to be on eye level, not physically, but emotionally, mentally, everything with Tachibana. And I think that's going to be really important, because she brings something very important to him, and conversely, and vice versa, he brings something important to her. So that's why I think this episode is really important, and I really enjoyed it. We took a little bit of the comedy away, just a little bit, but obviously we had Schwarzenheimer and whatever his name is, Schwartz. Dollar Store Kirito. We had him there. To definitely provide a lot of the comedy stuff. I definitely love him as a character. We have the commander. I forget what her name is, but the lady who's in charge of him, with her lovey-doveness of the little bunny character. I love all of that. Then we have the little girl who is, crazy, the evil little girl who they've dealt with before, who was controlling the big old mech. We've had her in here too, and, she was definitely comedy as well. So there's a lot of comedy stuff that was, dribbled upon everything. But I think the importance of this episode definitely solidified itself, especially as we're nearing the end, towards the actual proper final battle, and kind of maybe we'll get to finally get a preview or see kind of what will end up coming next, which really needs to be a season 2. I don't know if there's enough source material for that, but really a season 2 needs to come, because I think I definitely want to see all of what the outcome is for Fantasy Bishoujo. But I don't know if this anime is really that popular enough to acquire a season 2. But then there's a lot of anime out there that I've talked about before that have gotten a season 2 that aren't quote unquote necessarily mainstream popularity or popular wise. So I'll be trying to cross fingers that this does get a season 2, because I think it'll be well needed to tell the whole complete story of Jinguchi and Tachibana. But I'm gonna leave you guys on those thoughts. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. As always, I appreciate you guys being here each and every single week. And my friends, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 12. All right, peace out.